Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting for the city of San Juan at 6 p.m. May we rise for invocation. Juan.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this evening. We ask for your wisdom to guide our commission as they govern and for direction in making decisions that are fair and just. Grant us unity and clear minds as we discuss what is best for our city and our citizens. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Face of flag for pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Under public comments, we have Mr. Polo Flores. Go ahead, sir.
I know you have Mr. Roy Garcia now assisting on a lot of these things. And it just goes to show you, you know, the resources and all that about saving, but you're still getting it done. And I complimented you all yesterday at the meeting on this, and your advertising, the way we're starting to roll with our PR and getting it out there for everybody. So it's a job well done, and I just need to express that. So thank you.
Appreciate
Also,
it.
thank your board, the Cultural Art District board.
I will.
Because I know they put a lot of work into this too, so, you know, thank the ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Mary.
Okay, well, thank you. Again, I have my daughter
Yes.
as my boss, so I gotta go feed her, but if there's any questions, you know, Mr. Guajardo, you can ask Mr. Guajardo and he'll put everything, you know, he'll update you as we go along. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Guajardo.
Yes, next we have the presentations on departmental reports. Tonight we have the Department of Finance, Fire Department, Police Department, Municipal Court, and the Department of Utilities. All directors are present, should commission have any questions.
At this time, is there any questions for the directors?
Mayor, if I may,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
and I know we have a representative from TriMet. My question on the report is based on the project for the wastewater comprehensive master plan. It says that it's 95% complete, just pending the workshop presentation. That's the only thing that's pending?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so
We're preparing a presentation as well. I believe, I'm not the one working on the master plan, but one of my coworkers is. But from what he has told me is that, they wanna have a schedule that workshop and have that presentation also ready for that.
okay, and there's no date yet? There's no date set yet?
As far as I know.
Okay, and the other one is on the lift station number 6. I know it says here, notice to proceed issued August the 8th, city notice to proceed was issued August 22nd, contractor mobilized August 22nd, so where are we on that one?
As of right now, they're working on the lift station, they're working on the wet well. They have submitted, submittals for that wet well. We'll be having that response, by this week. But I know they're having some issues on with the groundwater, so, as of today, they were gonna set up, a well point. Because they were using a pump, but it wasn't enough.
All right. Thank you, sir. That's all I had, Mayor.
Any other questions for the directors? If not, we'll go ahead and move on. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, item number 6, public hearing ordinances. Consider the second and final hearing of an ordinance adopting the budget for the city of San Juan, Texas for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, ending September 30th, 2026. Ms. Beltran?
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, Mr. Palacios, City Manager. Before you is a second and final public hearing to approve the budget for beginning October the 1st, 2025, ending in September 30, 2026.
Okay.
And staff recommends to approve the second and final public hearing and consider ordinance adopting the proposed budget for the city of San Juan for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30, 2026.
Okay, so this is a public hearing. So at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up at 6:19 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? Comments, for or against? Go ahead.
Hello, thank you for providing this opportunity. My first question is for the attorney, it's not you all. Is this actually the second and final reading? Because at the first reading, the meeting was adjourned prior to a vote being taken by the commission.
The vote?
The vote on the budget, which was last week at noon at City Hall, there was a meeting. The first hearing about the budget. However, the meeting ended abruptly without the commission taking a vote. Does that mean they have to have an additional meeting? That this is not really it is the second meeting?
No,
I'm just asking that question.
No, it's just a public hearing to allow for public to make comment.
But on the agenda, it says that they would vote yes or no.
it's a formality, so again, sometimes they'll vote, they didn't have to take a vote because it's a public hearing for the budget to allow for public to make a comment on it.
Okay,
So
well, then
today-
my question is, they shut the meeting down abruptly and didn't let everyone make their comments.
No, I believe, I don't believe you were there,
No, I wasn't.
okay, so.
There's
it's not
4 other
exactly
people here
what-
that were.
It's not exactly what happened,
I'm just, hey,
that's exactly what happened,
I
but
know I'm a
again,
pain. You guys could have met with me a year and a half ago. I wouldn't be doing this.
that's not exactly what happened, but if you have a comment regarding the budget, we're welcome to hear that right now.
Yes, I have several comments. Okay, thank you. The first is the fact that the tax rate that you all voted and passed on is the same. We see that, but I think it's important that you amend what you passed, because on that, what you passed said that keeping the same tax rate would decrease taxes, and that's factually inaccurate. It will actually increase taxes for most, because most people's properties increased in value. In fact, the building across from here increased by 300,000, and your own numbers here state that last year you collected $8.2 million in taxes, but that you anticipated will be $8.9 million in taxes. So I don't think it's right that you claim that it will lower taxes, and that's what it says on the document that you all signed. My other question is, what is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement budget? You have an ICE task force, and you pay overtime to them. And I don't see anywhere in any police reports any month for the past 2 years that you say that there's an ICE task force, when my understanding was that the city was not going to be doing ICE enforcement. Nobody would like to answer that?
What figure are you looking at?
Okay, sure. It's on your budget. It's on page 3. Yes, page 3 of your budget, the very last line says Immigration Custom Enforcement. You are raising it from $2,000 to $15,000. If you look under the police budget, you will see that is to pay for the ICE task force overtime. So they're operating normal business hours and have overtime, which means you have an active ICE task force. And I'm not aware of this task force, and I don't think anyone in the city is. I would assume you are, but
Yes, we don't have a nice task force. That's a communication I already talked to finance director. That needs to be clarified on the actual, we don't have a nice task force at all. I know that was back in the day, many years ago, before my time. Right now, we don't have a nice task force.
well, I will say this year, in 24-25, you've already spent $1,445 on the ICE task force. And the year previously, you spent $2,471 on the ICE task force. But how could you use that money if there is no ICE task force?
Commissioner, if I may clarify, the ICE task force, that is Homeland Security task force. It's not a ICE task force. It just needs to be renamed to the proper name, which is HSI. We do have an
Homeland
HSI
Security
task
and
force.
ICE are now intertwined, they're the same. So if it's now Homeland Security, it definitely previously was ICE task force. And that is something I think that is really, really important for us to address, given the makeup of our community, which has large undocumented population and mixed status families where kids are citizens, but maybe not their parents. It could be extremely break the trust between the police and the community.
Chief, are you enforcing any immigration laws?
Sir, we're not.
You're not? Okay.
What is the $2,000 spent on that? Last year, this year, 1,400, the year previous, 2,400, and although he says it was back in the day, in 2022, 2023, 0 was spent. So maybe they're not, but if they're not, then they're falsely reporting on the budget for the past 2 years.
Have those monies been spent on anything, Chief?
Yeah, for Homeland Security, yes, not for ICE task force. We don't have an ICE task force. We have a Homeland Security Investigations, one person that is assigned to that in the task force. And they deal anything from gambling to human smuggling and narcotics.
I think you need to, my recommendation, sorry, I won't say, I think you, my recommendation is to table passing this, or if you all would please make an amendment so that this line in the budget, which appears here and under the police budget, does not say ICE enforcement, ICE task force, but rather Department of Homeland Security, because this is the public record.
No, they're not, just immigration, custom.
Oh, if you want me to tell you what page it is on the other one where it says task force, I can. I will. I'll tell you right now. Give me a minute. It's just got a lot of notes here. Yeah. On page 33, bottom line again, you will see that it says ICE Task Force Overtime. I don't know what HIDTA Task Force is, but, yeah, what is it? What is it?
It's high, that's an acronym, yeah, but it's an acronym from the Lieutenant Task Force.
Oh, yeah, I'm curious to know what that is.
Does ICE or whoever pay for that?
So for that line item, we get reimbursed by HSI.
Okay, you get reimbursed?
Yes,
That's for part of the item.
correct. HIDA is another one.
Okay, but we have one
Yes.
with ICE.
So if we can change the wording to put HSI instead of ICE.
That's correct. I had requested that. I don't know what the process is for that.
He did request that, however, this was already printed, so, and it was already uploaded. But as he's saying, yes, it will be changed, and those are just agreements, so they wash off with one another.
Thank you. That is very good to know that it is not an ICE task force. I mentioned previously, but I will mention it again indirectly. The amount of money that the city commission has for travel is $2,000 per person, $10,000. I think that most of you know that doing a conference for $2,000 is probably impossible, right? Just a registration fee is $500 plus the hotel and travel is a large amount. It seems that you are under budgeting here, especially when you take into consideration the EDC has a budget of $38,000. So I think that it's really important that you provide your own selves the training. My understanding is that you will not be using the Hollis grant folks anymore. On page 9, you have funding for a grant writer and coordinator for the amount of $48,798. I will tell you that that is a very extremely low amount to pay for a grant writer. If a grant writer can bring in millions of dollars, the best ones, and that's what you need, they are not gonna do the work for $49,000. I can promise you that. And it should be concerning because I think there's only one grant listed in this budget. I could be wrong, I don't see it. I just see a COPS grant in the past year. So I think it's wise to not use the agency, but I highly recommend that you really seriously consider raising this amount to at least $100,000. The other thing is, again, I bring up the amount being paid the city manager. I have no doubt that the city manager deserves $140,000. My father and my sister were previous city managers in Florida, and I know the amount of work that they have to do. I'm sorry, I'm speaking on the wrong person, and he's doing a great job. I would like to thank Mr. Guajardo publicly for meeting with our group. It's the first time in a year and a half someone does, and he was very kind with us and listened, and I hope that that means that soon we will all be able to meet with you. The pay on page 13, you will see your pay for administrative assistant ones is extremely low. It's between, and library aides, is between $26,000 and $23,000 a year. That just is not a living wage. The admin assistant in the city secretary's office that's approximately $2,230 per month. I'm not sure Anybody can live off of that. And as a city, I would think that you would want to provide your employees with living wages. Again, on the planning and zoning, the director of planning, and this is, I got mixed up with the city manager, sorry, Mr. Juan, will get paid $79,000 a year, but then he's supposed to also get paid $85,000 from the EDC, making a total of $164,000, which I believe is the highest paid individual in the city, more than the city manager.
I'd like to clarify something on
Oh,
that.
yes,
There was a
please.
meeting yesterday and those people present.
Okay.
Mr. Jorge Garcia has done a tremendous job as an intern.
No doubt about it.
In the meantime, and he's an expert at what he does. We hate to see him have to transition from one or the other, but he was holding down the fort in the intern because of all the mess that we had with our previous administration, okay? And so with that being said, our EDC meeting was yesterday, and Mr. Jorge Garcia became our new EDC director. He will no longer be with the city.
Okay, I
Okay,
think
so-
that's
so
wonderful
just to
news.
clarify things before.
I think that's great news, and I thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying, because I think that was some of the problem that happened previously when the city manager was the EDC director. So I appreciate that notification. In terms of the police budget, other than the ICE question I have is that there is such little money allotted for crime victims. And from what I can see, and I could be wrong, so this is why I'm here to ask questions, there is a budget of approximately $34,000 for a crime victim liaison, and I don't see anything anywhere else. If the police's budget is as large as it is, and I can't remember what it is, it's like $9 million, I'm not sure. That's way less than 1% of the entire budget is going towards victims. And I think that that's really a problem, because the police are public safety, and they're there to protect us, but they also need to help provide support for victims. And so I think that this is something that you all should really consider changing. If you have a full-time person, it should definitely not be this amount of money. I mean, I would assume you would have a licensed therapist or licensed social worker doing that work. So, I mean, we had a meeting this year where there was a whole family that were victims asking for assistance. I don't hope they got that assistance. The other thing is for the police, you have medical services, which is for their entry exams, and I do know that they get health insurance and they can do this, but I really also, just like I recommend for the victims, that you find support to have a full-time person who's licensed and in mental health services for the police. It's very difficult to find. If you're full-time, it's really hard to make the appointments in the Valley and to find someone that specializes in the type of work that the police do. I think it's really important that that always be available to police. And so I highly encourage you to consider allocating funding for that. Secondly, I just want to say on the fuel budget, which is on page 38, every year the police goes over budget, and I think that makes sense because the price of gas always goes up. But so I wanted to understand why you would put the police fuel budget, the final amount, as $106,920, when already this year they have spent $147,000. And I think this is just a fiscal responsibility thing. We know that they're not going to spend $106,000. In fact, the last time they spent $106 was in 2022. After that, it rose by $40-something thousand, and you're hiring 2 police officers on this budget. It cannot possibly be $106,000. In order to balance your budget, I really recommend that you give a more accurate counting of what the fuel will be. You'll see that 2022-23 was this on page 38 was 105,000, 147,000 the next year. Today, 147,000 to date, which I'm assuming does not include the month of September. And you're they did ask for an increase of 160, but it was lowered by almost $54,000. I've expressed this concern to you before, and that is, right? But that is that the library is less than 2% of your entire budget, okay? The police is over 30%. That's a really stark contrast. Bullets, books. We have to invest in the youth. And the amount that the library is receiving is really not enough. In fact, the lowest paid, some of the lowest paid full-time employees are at the library, okay? And I think you really, really need to think more about the culture and cultural sustainability in San Juan. I know that that hasn't necessarily been a priority before, but I think it's very important. The PSJ school district had the big goal here of the UN sustainability goals, and that is one of them. Cultural sustainability leads to less crime. It also leads to higher education outcomes and higher income outcomes. And if you want to really invest in the children of this community, you already do a great job with sports, but it's a drastic difference. And 1,000, I can't remember what it's like 1,000 something for new books. That's like 40 books. Like that's like my book budget for the year, right? So, and I would also say, they only go to one conference, and it's the Texas Library Association. There's so many wonderful conferences that the librarian can go to. Book festivals are so important to get books that are current and relevant, and other library type of trainings outside of the Texas Library Association that could really help improve what they do. Of course, they will need money to do those improvements, but I just, again, really want to emphasize the very extremely low salary that the library aides are getting, and just in general. There are several departments that have no conference training. I'm sure that you all understand how important it is to go to conferences, not just trainings given locally, because that helps you build relationships across the United States and learn best practices from outside of that one training area. And some of those people that don't have conference funding are HR, I believe IT, animal control. That's really important. I mean, I don't think, they go to like one training. And so, what else? Yeah, I think those are the three main departments I saw. I might be missing some because there's a lot of pages, and I only got to do this last night after teaching until 8 o'clock at night. And then finally, I just want to emphasize again, there is one other thing I want to do. I think that it's really important to invest more money in the sanitation, in the water in particular. I don't know if you are familiar with Joshua Morales' report about San Juan water, but I'll give you one example. The copper and lead are at 90, the readings on it are at 90%, and the EPA health goal is 0. So you are ingesting that. Now, that number does not require action by the federal government, and probably won't in the next 3.5 years. But you have to think about when people, especially children who are developing brains and mothers who are carrying babies, they are drinking this water, and it affects them. Additionally, the radioactive contaminants, you have a 74% reading on radium, and that is the EPA maximum. One bit over, and now you're in violation. That's also in the drinking water. This is all about the water. Also, there are, you have a high rate of disinfection byproducts. That means it's the chlorine reaction with organic matter, right? Because this is the sewage, right? But those lead to cancer. Joshua Morales, I can send you his report if you like. And then again, with the EDC, just because I didn't have the chance, I just wanted to know why with special projects on this is on the EDC budget, which is the separate document, it's not as detailed here. Every year you budget for special projects. And every year over the last 3 years, it's been come in approximately $200,000 under. At the same time, I don't want to misspeak, you have given a $320,000 increase for this year. It doesn't make sense if every year they're asking for $200,000 too much. Why would you ask for, last year the budget was $441,000 approximately. To date, they've only spent $241,000. And instead of giving them a similar amount, you raised the $441,000 to $723,000. That's $320,000 that could go to some of the mental health and cultural sustainability matters that I brought up. And to that end, I would say, in regards, that's money, my recommendation to you is to put that money into these mental health services and into the cultural services. Point made, you are giving $8,500 for the Dia de los Muertos event. I think that's great. I do think it's important for you all to know that this is not the second one. This is the third one. The first one was done approximately, I think about 10 years ago, and it was international. It was a collaboration with the state of Oaxaca. And I really think it's important not to give that misinformation, and I hope it continues to grow. I only know this because I was a part of that first committee to make the first Dia de los Muertos event, and I partnered with PSJ ISD to start an altar competition, which now is done every single year in almost 25 schools. So I just really think for historical documentation, it's really important to know that you've done this before, right? This isn't new. Of course, I'm sure it's gonna be way better than when we did it, but the other thing is I presented to Mr. Guajardo, and hopefully you have all received it. I'm sure I expect that you have, is that I requested that, that you allow our group to become caretakers of the San Juan Hotel and to relieve that burden from you. And we have committed to finding the sources and the funding to restore the hotel. And what we propose is to make it an RGB Civil Rights Museum. Yeah, I don't appreciate the faces. If I want to tell one thing, the city of San Juan is the heart of the civil rights movement in the entire valley. You should not only capitalize on it economically, which is not my interest, you need the city of San Juan folks and all of the valley to know this and to know that this is a place where people stood up against bigotry and racism. And this was the first city with the Mexican-American Majorities Commission. Those are things that we need to know, and we should be proud of it. And this is really easy. It's not hard, except for the fact that for some reason, there are people who don't believe this. I invite you all to come to Museo 956, de Derechos Civiles. We hope that's a seed, and we have people coming in. It's free, and it tells the history, one part, but it's a small part. There's so much more to tell, including the plane crash into the Basilica, which was a domestic act of terrorism. There's money in here to help do that. And at the very least, there's money to board up the windows and doors so that people are not going inside. Because one day, someone's gonna go inside, they're gonna get hurt or worse, killed, and the city is gonna be liable, even if you have a no trespassing sign up, because you are providing them with access. We see them all the time in there. The police come mostly when it's me there, and I'm not going inside, I'm on the sidewalk. So I'd had it planned on mentioning that, but I do, and I know there's people that are against it. There are. But there's more of us for it than against it. And you know what? People were against the civil rights movement too. Doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. And it's the right thing to do. I don't know if you all have any questions for me about my questions about the budget. But again, I'm happy to sit down with anybody and share my notes. I wish I had more time to be more thorough.
Thank you.
Anyone else for or against? Yes, sir.
I did some of the recommendations that you asked me to go look at the budget, because I have a lot of questions, and even though I look at that budget, I'm not familiar with some of the terminologies or the departments, but, I did try to get meetings with, city employees to help me out. Maybe we do need to increase the budget for Ms. Beltran. Maybe she has a lot of work that she cannot serve us as citizens. And what I noticed, not to pick on Mr. Cifuentes, but that budget, you know, that's 3.5. And like in my pocket, some things I take away to have other things that I try to make priority. And 3.5, you could say our government has a bigger budget for defense, but that's why we have them to defend us. We're not at war. We're not at war with our citizens. That's why 300.
The budget's $9.7 million.
9.7? Oh, my bad. See, I don't understand even the numbers and where I was reading. That's how lost I am. And that's, the more lost I am, the more questions I ask. And maybe you all don't have the time for me, fine. You told me where to go, and I still don't get answers. But that's besides the point. What is important is that we only recommend, but don't forget that the decisions that we adults make are taken away from our future, as it was done to us. Don't want to mention names, don't want to mention situations. But I made calculations that things could have been a little bit different. We could have had a lot of more computers, and money was misspent in our school, in our city. Back in '80, I learned, I was so blessed to have this guy. I was so excited. He was teaching us in 3rd grade coding. Those that kept with it, right now they're geniuses. But again, that program only lasted 1 year. What you all decide for us and our kids, remember that you're taking away from them. And don't get mad at the repercussions that we did not invest socially. We were more focused in policing. The budget for the young lady here, Ms. Perez, we do need to allocate money, more money. And I'm telling you because yo soy del barrio. Back then, it didn't make sense. Now that I got educated, it makes a lot of sense. So if it makes sense for me that I have a degree, and if you all have a degree, you should value it the same way. Because it's gonna give us better opportunity, it's gonna make us more wealthy, live better. Water is very important, because let's say 80% is made out of sales. So we do have a problem in our infrastructure. And we do need you all to pay attention to that, please. And do something about it, allocate more money. Maybe you're not aware of what we're living or what we care, but that's why we stand up here, to remind you. Maybe within your own group, you have set ideas and ideologies, but that's just within you all's group as a commission. As citizens, we have our needs also. I'm not saying to please us, but at least give us a better life and a better chance, because you're deciding how we live. What you take from us is in your decisions. And you can do it because you have the power. But, knowledge is power also, and we have our power. For many years, I chose not to get involved. I did my thing, but I'm like, Most of these guys, they're around my age. They should know what I know. We lived here enough, almost the same time. So how are you gonna help us? Increasing that budget for that young lady, Ms. Perez. As a jock, library wasn't in my head. But that finished, I had to get an education, and that's why I noticed that what we put into our colonias and how we make a living environment for those children, make it better, they have a better chance when they get up and go to school to perform. So y'all's decisions, they do spill over into our ISD, especially those that are teachers. You know what I'm talking about. When that student didn't have what it needs to be successful, and those are the basic necessities. Water. When you would say, well, buy it for $1, yes. Not everybody has $1, guys. That's why they pay the bill. And yes, you're having water there, but we're being underserved again. Until I got a formal education, I learned that I was underserved all my life. And I said, you know something, I'm gonna make money and compensate over it. I could buy water. Yeah, but that's just it's not we. And I'm like, what happened? I came from humble beginnings. Why am I becoming this guy? And I hope that we don't have guys up here, that you think about what we need. Maybe you are better off economically and you could buy your water or even get it delivered. Good for you. But not everybody has that budget. Like you have a budget here to take care of, we also have a budget. So we might not know what you all know, but at least we have an idea of what a budget is and how we should handle it. And that's why I asked that, not to pick on Cifuentes, but we do need to allocate money into library, into education, we have more computers, because it's very, even have a budget for, we don't have to pay for paper to print out, even though it could be a limit. But at least some people cannot, it's not that they can't afford, they just don't have that budget for that. To spend, to print out a beautiful stack, to at least empower themselves. Because they cannot empower themselves, because they don't even have a budget for internet. You could say, oh, you have a phone. The app in the phone is not the same as the computer. Because I tried it, and I couldn't make it work. So I gave up, I asked Ms. Brenda for help, she gave me some help. She said, no, on the website, this is better. And yes, that's correct. It is better for us. But yet, something tangible does serve us. If you're using the computer, yes, you're getting served, but you're being underserved, because at 3 in the morning, when nobody's bothering me, or 2, that's when I focus more on this. Here, I have a time limit, and I have to walk out. So remember, every decision you make for that budget, you're affecting not just the adult, but the future of someone. And I hope that you do have foresight to give us a chance. Because I have seen a lot of men and women sit there. Some did for us, and some didn't do enough, but they did. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what we have in front. How are you gonna serve us? Como decía mi abuelo, ¿para qué sirves? Sí, es fácil. Nothing personal. Y es algo que lo dieron ustedes en español. Y luego en español, porque en inglés it doesn't make sense. So, I hope you take us in consideration what are our needs. And I will ask more questions, because I still have a lot of questions. Because my ignorance kept me away, my ego also, but I figured that that's not the solution. You know, if my neighbor is not good, I'm not good. If my neighbor suffers because of all y'all's decisions, I suffer because they're right next to me. And this is a community that we, and I say we, those have lived all their lives, we have been taken care of. So I appreciate if you do an honest job and have some honor in your actions, because that's what we were raised as men. And I say men because I see all men here. I do not see a woman in our commission or on our board. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead. Yes.
I don't know much about the numbers because I didn't study the budget thing. But I just want to comment that I hope you guys make better decisions whenever, whatever you build, like the expansion, the police station, that you don't spend more than what you have. Because the police station is only like 5 years old. I don't know, I don't have the numbers, how much you paid for it, but whoever built it, I mean, didn't think of how San Juan was growing. They didn't even build enough parking space for the employees to park. They're parking in the dirt between the building and the water tower. I understand there's an ordinance that you're not supposed to be parking on the dirt, but the police department's doing it. Also, when they build it, I guess they didn't budget for a generator, because y'all had to pay to put in a generator, I don't know how, like a year later. So, or something like that. I don't have my numbers, just from the top of my head. So I don't know when you build it, if you paid for a generator and they didn't put it in, and then you have to pay another like 10,000 to put in a generator. Now you have to pay to, I believe you all paid somebody to do extra parking, which apparently it wasn't done. I don't know if you all passed it or didn't pass it. Also, I think you should allocate more money for the IT, because everything's computer. I'm old school, but I'm still learning. Enough, so what happened in 2021 doesn't happen again, where the computers all broke down and y'all lost a lot of information from the police department. That happened in 2021, right? A lot of records were destroyed. Yeah, okay, a lot. So y'all need the money to do the updates, because you wouldn't want that to happen again and you lose all these records of the criminals, right? Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Payne.
Good evening. First of all, I just want to commend you all on the reclassification on the EDC Special Projects Coordinator. That was a position made up by the former city manager, which, really it's just baseless. That was supposed to be done a long time ago, but now, it's done. I want to commend you all, and commend Mr. Guajardo also for doing a great job as a city manager. And, hopefully, that's not the first and last one we need to reclassify. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I just have a second comment based on what people have said here. First, I hope it's not true, but there's always these rumors of retaliation. And so when you mentioned Ms. Perez, I wanted to make sure that you all know, I don't even know Ms. Perez. And since I'm making all of these recommendations about the library, this is just me as a citizen, but I did get a little worried about that. The other thing I wanted to say that related to Polo's comments are, and this goes back to, yes, the main reason I'm here is this idea of a civil rights museum. I do not know if you know, but the research tells us, and I'm happy to provide you with the scholarship about it. First generation Mexican Americans actually outperform second generation Mexican Americans in terms of schooling. You probably see that in your classroom, in your own families. One of the biggest indicators of them having more success is to have a strong identity and know who they are. Right now, the school system across the country does not allow us as Latinos and Latinas, Chicanas and Chicanos, to see ourselves as actors in the democracy of the United States or in history at all. And so what happens is the first generation has no expectation of that because they're immigrants, but the second does. They're here, they're American, but you go through your entire schooling and you've never read a book written by a Mexican American. You've never had history beyond maybe a week or two about Mexican American history. You have the possibility to really make a difference here. Our museum is the first ever of civil rights in the Valley of art. This could be your legacy, and it will lead to a healthier San Juan, and not just San Juan, the whole valley.
Ms. Lulu?
Can I address something real quick? Because you mentioned right now about Ms. Perez, I believe the commission feels that she's done a tremendous job, and we all feel like that. We do have budget meetings, and we have 3 or 4 of them prior to that, and every department comes and with the wish what they need, and we pay attention specifically to what every department's asking. She's done a tremendous job, and as we've seen in the tremendous growth in our library and the functions happening because of her. So I just wanted to address that, because at the budget meetings, what I'm saying, they come and what they need, we're here to listen, and we accustom everything to that. And so it's nothing that, but Ms. Perez is doing a tremendous job.
Yeah, I
support her.
agree. Ms. Perez does amazing things with the tiny budget she has. And as sometimes I'm sure everyone here, I saw the first budgets, you ask for more than you need, right? Or you give your dream, right?
Your wish list.
Your wishes, for some it's a dream. I think for like librarians, it's like really a dream, like sanitation, maybe not so not, you know. But I agree, and I'm so sorry now to even single her out. I just wanted to make sure, like, you didn't think I had some kind of conversation with her. It's just something I'm extremely passionate about, is literacy and literature. And I have no doubt, the thing is, if you don't imagine something bigger, or you're the leaders, say, you know, we really need to do this, then you can't. I mean, that budget should be doubled, to be quite honest. You know, the police station plus the police budget, that's $24 million. Imagine in $24 million investment in the education of your citizens. So I appreciate it, and I feel the same way, Marky.
All these people that I'm mentioning, I think for the first time I have seen them. And as those that are public servants that serve us, we are here to protect our citizens. Maybe things used to be like what we're thinking of, maybe 20 years, 10 years ago. And vaya, people would take it personal, retaliate, pero eso ya se acabó. We're not ignorant. We know there's laws. So I know you could single out a person that works for you all, but you cannot single out all citizens, because they serve us as you serve us, and they have my back, and I have now their back, because el que sirve es más importante, el que no sirve porque es todo. So when I speak, I not take nothing personal of each person out of the police department chief. It's just that I noticed that budget has a lot of money. And I feel that from somebody that's the barrio now, I appreciate what they're making out there in Suru. Maybe have a sub station for books, something that is tangible. That's why we need to increase her budget, because she needs to put books out there that, because they're tangible, they already have them here, and we need some out there. And sorry, like I have told Ms. Beltran, nothing personal with you all. You know, I just have questions for you. Ms. Perez, I have never met, but she's a very important part for our future. Because I know if you live here and you live here and your kids need something tangible, a book, she's the one taking care of and ordering. And I hope that you put a little bit of money in her wish list, so we could be better off. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioners,
Good evening, ma'am.
good evening. Again, this is a balanced budget.
Sure.
Our staff recommends to approve the second and final reading and consider the ordinance of adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30, 2026 for the city of San Juan.
Any questions for Mrs. Lulu? Members of the commission? Anyone?
The questions are reserved for the commission.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I just forgot to say that I'm against it because
Okay.
Okay, okay. So that's your recommendation? No, I'm gonna close it right now. At this time, I'm gonna close this at 7:06 PM. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
Been second by Mr. Garza. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Under item number 7, appointments, consider appointment of a member of the city commission as mayor pro tempore.
At this time, we're gonna take no action on this one right now. Go ahead, sir.
Under item number 8, discussion and possible action on all the following matters. Discussion and possible action, and, if any, to approve revised change order number 1, previously approved on August the 18th, 2025, in the amount of $245,775.77 for the City of San Juan Ridge Road and the Grove Subdivision Street Improvement Project. Mr. Garza?
What happened here, Mayor, Commissioners, CM, Mr. Palacios, good evening. The alternative bid was not added correctly. The numbers, this is not costing the city any, they're not changing any change orders. This is not a change order. What they did, in order for us to continue with the contract, they need to fix the numbers on the alternative bid. So the alternative bid was not in the change order number 1 and was not in the original contract. So all they did is fix the numbers and put it back together. So the contract includes all approval of change orders, and the original version of the change order number 1 did not include the alternative bid on the amount of either section. So all they did is fix the numbers that were not included in the first contract that we made. So with that said, sir, Commissioners, staff is recommending approval for this item, so we can move forward with the payment and anything we need to do for the elite paving and grading.
And this is for the Grove, right? Am I
The
correct?
it includes both of them, because the change order, when they did the contracts and the change orders, they didn't include the alternative bid on there. So all they did is just put the numbers to the alternative bids. We're not asking the city for money, we're not including, we need to go up in monies, all stay the same.
Okay. Quick question in regards to the Grove. You guys looked already at the cul-de-sac, you know, where you're
They
heavy?
already, today they finished one of them, cleaning it up, and tearing it down a little bit. They're going down to the base, and the other one is already done.
Well, because of y'all's trash trucks, you know what I'm saying? So,
Alright,
the trash trucks that go through the cul-de-sac.
But right now, yeah, with this rain, sir, it's
Yeah.
been really bad, so anything they do is gonna get muddied
Yeah,
up.
I know.
So right now, they were doing the finish, so they flipped it and flipped it and flipped it to air dry it with the sun, hoping we didn't get any more water, but, it's starting to look figured and shaped up on the street. So, by the end of the week, by Friday, Saturday, they should be laying down some asphalt.
Perfect. Okay. Any questions for Mr. Garza?
Yes, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
So, Mr. Garza, this term alternative bid was never presented to us?
It was presented, sir. the
As an
numbers-
alternative bid?
As an alternative, Mr. Joe can explain better, because he's the one that did this.
Their firm is on
and
this project.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. I'm Jose Perez, I'm with TriMet Consultants. Yes, for the alternative, it was included on the bid proposal as well. The only thing is that since we were having a really short time, because we wanted to have Ridge Road, done before school started, and, the change order kind of happened, at night, so we had to work on it really fast. And, Mr. Ricardo Salazar, he was at the side, and we were just, discussing everything, what we were gonna do. So we, oversaw that, alternative, and we just included what the, contractor, bidded as just the base bid. But, it was awarded, when it was awarded to the contractor, it included the base bid and the alternative.
And that came before us.
Yes, correct.
And when was that brought to us, Mr. Garza?
That happened, prior to, starting the construction, so it had to happen, the month before school started, because we only had 14
So that
days.
alternative included this 245?
Yes, sir, I believe so,
So
right?
if it included it, why did we do a change order?
Yes, I have the award letter, and it was included, it says, at their special meeting on August the 5th, the San Juan City Commission awarded, for RFP number 25-011-07-30, Ridge Road and the Grove Subdivision Street Improvements Project to Elite Grading and Paving LLC in the base bid amount of $611,954, and the alternative in the amount of $26,100.
The alternative was 26,100?
Yes.
So how do we come up with 245?
Oh,
the
no,
alternative-
that's the change order that the contractor submitted to us, yes. That will be the
That
change
was a
order
change order for the
amount.
cement that we did on the, Ridge Road, intersection San Antonio that was approved by the commission. Prior to that. That is not,
Elite Grading and Paving, yes.
Mr. Ramirez, Commissioner Ramirez, that has nothing to do with the numbers that didn't reflect. at the
Okay,
beginning.
I mean, that's why I don't understand why it's before us again. If it was already approved as a revised change order for the 245,000, what are we doing here again? I don't understand.
The numbers were not added to the original.
What
contract.
numbers?
The numbers to the change order, not to the change
Yes.
order, to the, alternative bid. They missed out in order for them to.
And what is that number?
26,000.
And it's still not here. That 26,000 is still not on this paper that you provided. The number here is 638 and 245.
Do you have
Same number.
638,000? On the original?
638,054, and then the change order was 245,775?
No, the 638, that's the new one. The original change order, we had 611. So that's where it wasn't included, that alternative.
Okay. And that was an error on your part, you're saying, because you oversaw it, because you all were rushing it over there?
Yes.
I guess in this one, Mayor, I'm gonna go ahead and go with it, but the next time, if it's your error, then you all eat the cost.
Any
That's all I got,
questions?
Mayor.
All right.
It's not costing the city anything.
No, it's not costing the
Sir,
city.
we're not going up in pay, the pay is still the same, it's just the change order that changed, so the city, they're not gonna submit for extra pay or just originally what it went for.
What I'm saying is, when you all present, the number should be accurate.
Correct, because that's.
You can come back and say, well, you messed up.
Yeah. For the contractor or for whoever, maybe try that or whoever,
Yes,
make sure those numbers are correct.
correct.
Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number B, consider the approval of the San Juan Economic Development Corporation's proposed budget for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Ms. Beltran?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the commission.
Good evening.
Mr. Palacio, City Manager. This is to consider the approval of the Economic Development Corporation's proposal budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
I see that Mr. Garcia is not here, right, this evening?
No, that's, under
No.
PD. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, he's not in today.
Okay, all right. So you guys, at the board, Mr. Commissioner, y'all reviewed everything and approved the budget? Everything?
Yes, we did, but this is not, the one that's in our packet is not the one we approved.
No?
The one that the separate packet is the one.
The one that, the original, the one that was approved.
The one that's in the binding has, what we approved is the one that was handed out. Yeah.
Oh, this one?
No, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't see this. Okay. Okay. And it was a recommendation of Mr. Garcia? That being said, is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? A second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner Villegas is abstaining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to item number 9, contractuals. Consideration and action, if any, to approve the interlocal agreement between the City of San Juan and the City of Wesco for animal control operations and impounded services, and authorize the mayor to execute any related documents. Chief Fuentes?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. In front of you, you have the contract to renew with the City of Westlake. At this time, I recommend for approval, as they're the only animal service providers.
They're the only ones that service?
I'm sorry?
They're the only ones?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw significant on that, how it went up.
Yeah, I saw that.
I just wanted to clarify that. I did budget for the previous amount, which was $150 per animal, but they sent us a contract towards when it was already.
They went up $100?
They went up to $250. It started at $55, now they're up to $150.
Oh, it started, okay, yeah, that's, wow, they went up $200.
As of July, we picked up a total of 485 light dogs, and that's $150 per dog. 485. We still haven't received invoices for August and September.
All right. Any questions for Chief Cifuentes? If not, is there a motion to approve? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Item number 10 under resolutions, consideration and action, if any, on a resolution accepting a voluntary annexation petition, setting dates and times of public hearings, and directing the planning department to prepare a service plan for a 3.03 acre tract of land out of lot 12, Stewart's Addition, to the Conway Gardens, as per map recorded in volume 0, page 43, map records, as requested by Tasha Group LLC.
Hi, good
Ms.
evening,
Gomez?
Mayor and Commissioners. This is a resolution to accept the voluntary annexation petition received by Tasha Group LLC for a 3.03 acre tract of land located south of Stewart Road, just south of Castillo State Subdivision, which is between Moore and Whole Acres, and directing the city staff to initiate the annexation process in accordance to Chapter 43 of the Texas Government Code and the city charter.
Any questions for Ms. Monica? If not, is there a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Item number 11, consent agenda. We have one item, Mayor, under consent agenda.
Is there anything under consent agenda we need amend or modify? Amend or modify? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Under executive session, the San Juan City Commission will convene in executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Vernon's Texas statutes and codes, annotated Government Code Chapter 551.071, consultation with attorney. Under the executive session item, we have pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney, discussion and possible action regarding legal issues concerning entertainment for the 2025 Noche de Paz.
Is there a motion to enter executive? All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are entering at 7:20 PM. Thank you. We're back, from executive session at 7:44 PM. Is there a motion to reconvene? So moved. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries under executive session A1. I'll go ahead and make the motion as discussed in executive session. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. This meeting has been adjourned at 7:45 PM. Thank you.